Hello everyone, my name is Shivanti Jones, and this presentation is on conducting a chi-square test of independence for GRC 605. We will start off by defining the chi-square test, then move on to explaining the variables and Cramer's V interpretation. Then we will take a look at the three hypothesis testing that we have performed. We will then end with the key takeaways and questions. A chi-square test is used to determine the relationship between two nominal variables. The null hypothesis states that there is no relationship between two values, and the alternate hypothesis states that there is a relationship between two values. To reject a null hypothesis, the p-value should be less than alpha, which for this test is 0.005. When the results are significant, a strength test should be performed to identify the strength of the correlation. Cramer's V test is the most commonly used strength test. The value of V ranges between 0 and +1. Next, we will take a look at the variables that will be used in our chi-square test. NumCars refers to the number of car payments per month by the participant. NumDefaults refers to the number of defaults incurred by the participant. Like comfort, the self-reported comfort level of the participant with the current financial standing. As mentioned in the previous slides, the Cramer's V test ranges from 0 to +1. 0 indicates there is no relationship to consider, and 1, which is very rare, predicts a perfectly symmetric relationship. Next, we will take a look at our first hypothesis test, which is between numCars and numDefaults. The following chi-square of independence test was conducted, and the null hypothesis was there is no relationship between numCars and numDefaults. The alternate hypothesis indicated that there was a relationship between numCars and numDefaults. The chi-square statistic and its p-values were calculated using PSPP, assuming an alpha of 0.05. In this test, there was no relationship. The p-value was 0.351, which is greater than the alpha, which is 0.05. Therefore, we do not reject the null hypothesis. And Cramer's V-value is 0.15. If you remember from our previous slide, this indicates a very weak relationship. The conclusion is there is no relationship between numCars and numDefaults. The second hypothesis test was conducted between like comfort and numDefaults. The following chi-square of independence test was conducted. The null hypothesis was stated as there is no relationship between comfort and numDefaults. The alternate hypothesis was there is a relationship between like comfort and numDefaults. The chi-square statistic and p-value were calculated using PSPP, assuming an alpha of 0.05. In this case, once again, there was no relationship. The p-value was 0.351, which is greater than the alpha, which is 0.05. Therefore, we do not reject the null hypothesis. V-value was 0.15. Again, this indicates a very weak relationship. The conclusion is that there is no relationship between like comfort and numDefaults. The final hypothesis test was conducted between numCars and like comfort. The following chi-square of independence test was conducted. The null hypothesis was stated as there was no relationship between numCars and like comfort. The alternate hypothesis was stated as there is a relationship between numCars and like comfort. The chi-square statistic and its p-value were calculated using PSPP, assuming an alpha of 0.05. In this case, there was a relationship between the values. P is indicated by 0.000, which is less than the alpha of 0.05. Therefore, we can reject the null hypothesis. V value is equal to 1, which indicates a perfectly symmetric relationship. Our conclusion is that there is a relationship between NUMCAS and light comfort. My key takeaways from this presentation is that the chi-square test is a useful test to test hypotheses when the variables are nominal. When the results are significant, a strength test should be used to identify the strength of the correlation. Cramer's V-test is a commonly used strength test. The value of V ranges between 0 and 1, 0 being there is no relationship and 1 being a perfect symmetric relationship. And that brings us to the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And thank you all for listening. Have a good day.